Let's DIY this vase cover. You'll need 3 rolls of raffia. These are 1/4 of an inch wide. There's 100 yards on here, but you don't need that much. You'll also need some type of rope. This one is 3/8 of an inch wide. I picked it up at Lowe's. You'll also need some type of glue, scissors, a vase, and a ruler. Using Modpodge is optional if you want to coat the vase towards the end, so if it gets wet it won't get messed up. You should use this. Okay, so let's get started. You'll want to grab your vase and take your rope and wrap it around your vase so you know how long it should be. My vase is 3.5 inches wide by 7.5 inches tall, so mine's measured out to be 12 inches long. Now you just start to cut out as many strands as you need to wrap around your whole vase. And my scissors were not cutting the rope the way I needed to because it's such a thick piece of rope, so I grabbed my box cutter and I cut it that way. But if you have a thinner rope, your scissors should be fine. You want to make sure that you have enough rope to cover the whole vase from top to bottom. I ended up using 17 strands of rope. So now we're just going to start wrapping the raffia cord. I did mine's natural color first, then the orange, and then the black. And you're going to want to make sure that each color is measured the same amount, because if the measurements are off, then your colors won't stack correctly. So mine's measured out to be 4 inches each. So 4 inches of natural color, 4 inches of orange, and then 4 inches of black. So you'll dab a little glue on the end of the raffia cord or on the rope, and you're just going to start turning the cord around the rope. You're just wrapping it around the same motion, wrapping and gluing, wrapping and gluing. So you're going to do that until you get to the 4-inch mark or whatever inch mark that adds up for your vase. And then you'll just add the second color. So I'm just going to speed this up so you're not watching me for a good 10 minutes putting on this first color. So here is where I'm measuring where the color should end and where the new color begins. So I'm just marking it off 4 inch for each color. This way each color stays consistent and all the same size. So now that those measurements are done, I'm just going to finish off this first color, and then we'll add the second color onto it. We'll add a little bit of glue and then finish it off that way, and then add the next color. You want to make sure that you're wrapping each color the same direction. So now we'll be adding our last color on, and we'll be wrapping in the same direction. We're going to glue and wrap until we get to the end. And when you get to the end, you want to make sure you leave enough cord, maybe about 2 inches of cord, so that we can close it up. So now that we're at the end, you see how I left about 2 inches of cord. We're going to just cut off the extra rope so that it can be glued on smoothly, and we're going to add some glue and then hold it together. And then with the end of the cord, we're just going to wrap it around and make sure we put enough glue so that it holds the raffia to the rope. And there you have it, your first beautiful wrap. And I'm just grabbing my vase to make sure it fits on well. And now you get to wrap it 17 more times. So here are my 17 that I wrapped, and it looks so good. I can't wait to put it together. That was definitely the most tedious part of it, and this is the fun part. I'm just going to start stacking it the way I would like it to look. So I'm putting all the black together, and then I'm just going to rotate it a little bit so it looks like a stacking effect. Now you can stack it any way you like. This is just the way that I like the way it looked, because you can stack, two blacks on two oranges. But I did it all one way and just a slight tilt, see? So it makes like a stair effect. Ooh, so cute. Now I'm stacking it this way before I glue it, just so I know how it will look before you add your glue, because once you add your glue on, there's no redoing it. So you want to make sure it's right before you start adding your glue. I switched over and used crazy glue for this part. You don't have to. You can still use your hot glue gun or whatever glue you use to wrap it with. This is just a preference. So I'm just gluing around 4 different times and then pressing it down to hold it, and then continuing stacking. And you want to make sure that you're stacking your design the same way that you had it on the vase. This is the last step, and it's also optional. This is where we'll be taking the Mod Podge and sealing it. So we'll just be taking the brush and putting a thin layer all around it. And it does go on white, but it will dry clear as long as you remember to put on a thin layer. You leave your vase to dry for 30 minutes and then you have your beautiful vase cover. I love this and I hope you all enjoy making it as well.